this is Prashant. Today I'm going to start with what to do in chapter 11 and 12. Now the name of the chapter will be calorimetry is the first, and second will be radioactivity. Now calorimetry, the chapter itself is related to heat, is a very important topic from heat section. Now first question what they can ask is define calorimetry. First question is define calorimetry. Next question will be differentiate between heat and temperature. This is the frequently asked question. They can ask for 3 to 4 marks, right? Ideally you should go with 4 marks question, because if they ask for 3 marks, then at least you can recollect that one more extra point. Right, now the extra point is quantity of heat depends on what factors and how they affect. The quantity of heat depends on 3 factors: mass, material, and change in temperature, right? So you have from that Q is equal to mc delta T. From that you get one term called as specific heat capacity, that is C is equal to Q upon m delta T. Now this specific heat capacity is a characteristic property of substance. It is fixed for a given substance. It is independent of our mass, length, right? But it depends only on material, right? If I say copper, then specific heat capacity is 400 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. If it is water, it is 4200. If it is ice, that is 2100, and if it is a steam, it is 460 SI units, right? All these are fixed value. Now it is not depending on मतलब कितना quantity of water लिया या कितना copper लिया, what is the shape, right? All that part, it is fixed, same as your specific resistance or resistivity. Now over your next part will be thermal capacity. Now thermal capacity depend upon the mass. They can also distinguish between specific heat capacity and thermal capacity, right? That will be 3 points. First point will be definition. Second point is a characteristic property, right, on what factor it depends, and third point can be considered as a unit, right? Okay, now next part will be, it is based on same, that is power is equal to work upon time. The work is a heat over here, so it is P is equal to Q upon T. So Q is equal to power into time. Then you have already equation Q is equal to mc delta T, so I can write that equation is P into T is equal to mc delta T, which is also equal to C dash delta T. C is specific heat capacity and C dash will be thermal capacity. Now next part is what is calorimetry, right? Calorimetry. Now calorimeter, right? Next will be calorimeter. Calorimeter is a vessel, copper vessel. Now question aega ki why that copper vessel is used. Now why copper? Now there is a one question ki good conductors have low specific heat capacity. Why? So a good conductor will show rapid rise in temperature. So therefore specific heat capacity is inversely proportional to we can say temperature. So I can say a rise in temperature is fast, so the specific heat capacity will be low. So less amount of heat energy is absorbed by the material, that is copper, and maximum energy is given to content, that is that whatever hot or cold body is considered. Now next is you have a calorimeter. In that calorimeter there are 4 different types of losses: insulation loss, conduction loss, convection loss, and radiation loss. Now insulation can be minimized by using that wooden jacket, outer jacket, wooden box, that can be minimized. For conduction loss, the region between vessel and the box is filled with insulating material like copper, like wool, wood, sawdust, all that part, right? Then for convection loss, that can be minimized by using wooden lid at top, matlab ढक्कन रहेगा. And for radiation loss can be minimized by polishing inner and outer surface of vessel. Now rate of radiation, this is there in 12th standard. Rate of radiation depends upon the surface area. So more the surface area, more will be the rate of radiation. So that can be minimized by polishing surface area, right? Okay, that is polishing inner and outer surface of vessel. Now next part is about principle of calorimetry. What is other name of principle of calorimetry? It's a principle of method of mixture. It is based on the principle of law of conservation of energy, that when there is no loss of heat to the surrounding, heat lost by hot body is equal to heat gained by cold body, right? Next part will be what is a give reason based on specific heat capacity and heat capacity. Whichever examples of specific heat capacity is there, value of specific heat capacity of that material like water is compulsory. If you are not writing that value, then the board has authority to cut 1 mark. That 2 mark question may they will give only 1 mark, right? That is very important. This is frequently given instruction, but many students are not taking it seriously, so they will lose their 1 mark, right? Next part is what is a give reason of thermal capacity, right? Thermal capacity may value of thermal capacity depend on mass, so it will vary with different masses. So no need to specify the value of specific capacity, right? Here no need, it is not required. If you write, they will cut your marks for that, right? So thermal capacity के examples में no need to write value, and in case of specific heat capacity, value of specific capacity is compulsory, right? That's it about the part A, that is this calorimetry. Now in part B of calorimetry, what they are asking is you have heating curve, cooling curve, right? Suppose you are supplying heat to a substance, say ice. So if you observe that ice, right, and if you plot a graph of temperature against the time, it is observed that entire ice at 0 degrees Celsius is converted to entire water at 0 degrees Celsius. In that process, there will be no rise in temperature. This is strange for us. Now we are supplying heat to it, but that heat is not converted in the form of temperature. What we expect, if I supply heat, there has to be rise in temperature, but this is not the case. In case of say substances, whatever heat supplied is over here, it is utilized to change the state of body. That is, total heat supplied is utilized for 2 purposes. One, to change the state of body, that is ice at 0 is converted to water at 0. So whatever energy you are supplying, that is used to increase the intermolecular distance. So intermolecular distance बढ़ रहा है, मतलब क्या हो रहा है? There is a change in state. There is a change in state, right? That is one part. And the second part is whatever energy applied is utilized for one for change in state, other is rise in temperature. So you have Q is equal to ml plus next part will be mc delta T, right? That is about this part. Now what is the next part? Next part is what? In next part we can study is that next part में you have latent heat, that is Q is equal to ml, then L is equal to Q by m. L is called specific latent heat, which is 336 joule per gram, means 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius when converted into 1 gram of water at 0 degrees Celsius, 336 joule of heat energy is absorbed, right? So if it is expressed in terms of kg, so it is 336,000 joule per kg, right? That is about this chapter, right? So they can have a give reason like why all ice is not melted all at once, right? When the right, all that part we can ask. They can have, if you have a drinks, so if we add say ice in that drink, so it become more cold because heat required by ice to melt is extracted from that cold drink. That drinks becomes more cold, right? All that part. Now next chapter is what? One more thing is there. It is advisable to use pressure cooker at hill station. Now this is one frequently asked question. As you move above from the earth surface, that is from sea level, atmospheric pressure will decrease, right? Due to which boiling point of water also decreases. So water start boiling at low temperature. Around 80-85 degrees Celsius, water start boiling, right? When we supply heat, right? When we supply heat, water start boiling at around 80-85 degrees Celsius. Now at this case the food is not cooked properly. But if I use pressure cooker, so pressure is increased 1.75 times the atmospheric pressure. 1.75 times the atmospheric pressure, due to which what will happen? Water boiling point of water will increase from 100 to 120 125 degrees Celsius, and food is cooked properly and less amount of heat energy is absorbed or required, right? Now there is one more question ki why we are adding salt when we boil pulses like chana masala banana, so we are adding salt in it. So why we are doing that part? By adding impurities, what will happen? Boiling point of water will increase, so that food is cooked easily, right? Now that's it about this chapter. We'll go with the next chapter, that is radioactivity. Now radioactivity part A, because part A is only there, part B may nothing is there, right? For this year nothing is there. So part A radioactivity में first question will be why say isotope, isobar, isotones definition with examples. The next question will be why element is radioactive, or which element is radioactive, why. Okay. Then what will happen if radioactive element is oxidized, reduced or treated with this compound, all that blah 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 blah, whatever part is giving, right? There will be no effect because radioactivity is a nuclear phenomenon. Then which particles define radioactivity, right? Which particles are emitted? Alpha, beta, these are the particles, and gamma rays, right? Now what alpha consists of, what beta consists of, and what gamma? Gamma is a energy, electromagnetic wave is a E is equal to h nu, right? H is a Planck's constant. Now alpha particle consists of 2 protons, 2 neutrons, right? So how to represent alpha? So for that I will take the help of helium atom. So helium consists of 2 proton, 2 neutron, 2 electrons. But if I remove that 2 electrons from that helium atom, it becomes doubly ionized helium ion, right? So doubly ionized helium atom, that is nothing but your alpha particle, that is He plus plus, He2 plus, that is nothing but your alpha particle. Now beta particles are nothing but electrons. Now from where these electrons are emitted? So neutron from the nucleus of a radioactive element get converted to proton and electron. That electron cannot reside inside the nucleus, so it is emitted as a form of beta particles. So they can ask what is the difference between beta particle and cathode rays. The origin is the only difference. Baki properties remain same, right? Then you have to do properties of alpha, any first 6 properties, not any 6, it is first 6 properties from textbook. For beta, first 7 properties, and gamma, first 5 properties. This is very important. Now other properties are common properties. You cannot write for distinguished properties, right? Okay, then what will happen if radioactive elements are this radiation pass through electric field, magnetic field? Both alpha and beta particles shows deflection, but gamma will not show any deflection, though can have in electric field as well as in magnetic field. Now when they ask for both electric and magnetic field, you have to draw neat diagram, and then they can ask a question based on that, why deflection of alpha is less and beta is more. Because mass of beta is very less. It is a rest mass of beta particle is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg, and that of alpha is 6.68 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg, right? Okay, so that way is a heavy particle, therefore deflection is less. Next they can ask for electric field as well as magnetic field, deflection will be there. Then they can ask for what will happen if radioactive element emit alpha. Though new element form will have atomic number decreased by 2, mass number decreased by 4. So in modern periodic table they shift 2 places to the left in modern periodic table. What about beta? When beta is emitted, atomic number will increase by 1 but mass number remains same, and it will shift 1 place to the right in modern periodic table. When this gamma particles and gamma rays are emitted, there is no change in atomic and mass number because they are energy, so no change in the position also. Then they can have a question like uses of this radiation, radioactive decay, right? This is, they can have medical use, industrial use, we can say in pharmaceutical how it is used, or in say industries how it is used, or in research lab how it is used, right? Or that they can ask. They can ask a question like what are the precautions to be taken when we construct a nuclear power plant, right? The people who are working with them, what precaution they should take. They should wear lead apron, long tongs, all that part, right? That can be done, right? Many many students are think that this chapter is very difficult, but according to me this is the one of the easiest topic, right? Please see my video on this radioactivity. Almost it is of 29 minutes. So if you do that video properly, you will not have to refer your textbook. Yes, you have to refer, but you will come to know exactly what you want to study, right? Friends, there is one more thing, that is what is the background radiation, then on what are the sources of background radiation and how it affects us, right? Now that's it about this video. Student, please do subscribe my channel and please share this video with your friends, so that my logic is to send this information to all students who are in need of this part, right? There are many students, they are going with some good tutor, so I'm not blaming that tutor, they are doing their job properly, but some students are not doing their work properly and then they blame teachers. So this is for those students that I am doing these parts from my side point of view. And if you share your knowledge not going to you are not going to lose your knowledge, it will definitely increase, right? That's it for this video. Thank you so much. Bye.